Welcome back to another episode of Off Air. I'm Kristen Quon alongside Casey Goetz, back for another week.
We are. I think this is episode number 5.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe?
Yes, it was. We made the decision once again to come back for a 5th episode.
So if you're listening, thank you for tuning in to episode 5.
And our sponsors, like this cup, are nothing.
No one.
No one. All right, let's start with race week in the books. In Bristol, we both were out at the racetrack. We were out there for a little bit on Thursday for the truck race during our dinner break at work. And then we were there for a lot longer on Saturday for the Bass Pro Shop night race. So let's give me your feedback, your thoughts on what you saw, what you enjoyed being out at the track on Thursday and Saturday.
Man, I had such a great time. You know, we do Thursday night as kind of like our family and friends night, which I think is just really nice that the station does that. So we get a chance to meet some family members of some of our coworkers, which is really fun, and just get to talk and spend some time. So that was nice. But you and I both, of course, worked. So we had to kind of hurry back to the station, but it was so fun.
It was. We were there for about an hour, and we got to see the start of the truck race, and visit with some people, have a little something to eat, and then then it was get on back here to the station for the news. But Saturday, my wife's my father-in-law came in with a couple of his buddies to the race, so we were down there about 4:30, met them, spent some time with them, and then we went up into our station suite on Saturday night. So we were out at the racetrack for pretty close to 8 hours, because when if you don't know, if you go to the track in the parking lots on the property, they hold that traffic for close to an hour after the race ends to give the foot traffic, people on foot, to get a chance to get back to the cars. So we just hung out probably for a good hour after the race before we even went down to our car to leave, and we were all left together. So we were there. I think it was definitely about maybe 11:30 before I think we left on Saturday night.
Yeah, you're right. It was pretty late.
What a fast race it was on Saturday. It went by so fast.
Definitely more. It went a lot quicker than last year.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Well, there were a couple of rain delays last year as well.
Right. But my driver came out the winner. Was happy about that.
Kyle Larson.
Yes. My favorite driver.
All
so
right.
that was pretty neat.
He had like 460 some laps.
Yep. He did a great job.
Yeah.
Shout out Kyle Larson for being a big winner at Bristol Motor Speedway.
And I thought the crowd, BMS does not release numbers. It's a private company. They don't, Speedway Motorsports, they don't ever release attendance figures unless it's a sellout. Then they'll say it is. But if it's not a sellout, you're never going to get any numbers. But it looked as crowded as it's been in a long time, in my opinion, for the night race. I thought it was very well attended. Of course, the weather was fantastic all 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thank you, Dave Dirks.
Yes. So, the weather was great. It was really, frankly, it was hot for late September. It was close to 90 degrees on Saturday. We were down in the infield there, probably about 5 or 5:30, and it was like, you got to get out of the sun. It was brutal.
Absolutely. And I even wore like the years before, like I've always worn long sleeves to the track just because I know it's like usually a little colder in there too. But even the weather is normally like mild. And this year I was like, I'm going to wear a cardigan. So I wore this cardigan that was checkered flag. And I was kind of burning up walking to the suite. I was like, okay, maybe this was a bad idea. But once we got in there was a ton of air conditioning.
Yeah,
so
the suites are Arctic. It's cold in there.
Yes, but I could not have worn that out in the stands. And, we were going to walk around maybe outside a little bit too and see the race from the stands. And I was like, no, can't do that this year or I'll melt.
Yeah, I believe maybe from green flag to checker flag at the end, I feel like it was definitely under 3 hours. It might have been closer to 2.5 hours of and how there weren't that many cautions. A couple of people spun out, drivers, but there weren't any big wrecks. And Kyle Larson, going the distance there, so it was an elimination race. So 4 drivers, got cut. I think Brad Keselowski was one of them. Martin Truex Jr. got cut out as well. So it's hard to believe. September, thinking, okay, well, NASCAR, they won't be back until April, but it'll be like that. And you're like, oh, we're at another race week. And then obviously, we're looking ahead for next year in 2025. You got the 2 races and the big baseball game, which should be in between in August. I think NASCAR is back to April in Bristol in the spring. It was in St. Patrick's Day in March this year. It's going to be in April next year. And then the baseball game will be in August, and then the night race in that kind of new mid-September timeframe.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. I will also say, from looking at my Facebook feed of all my friends, I was very jealous because a ton of people went to the Morgan Wallen concert before the race on Friday and Sunday. So for all of you out there listening that went to the Morgan Wallen concert, I am very jealous. I tried to get tickets, but couldn't get them. But maybe that's because I'm not a Tennessee fan. So they were like, they put me on the low list there. They were like, only Tennessee fans can go to the concert. I did see a lot of my friends out with their orange and white going to the concert.
I was actually talking to a buddy at the Y that I see all the time, and he said that he was trying to get tickets for Sunday, and when it originally announced it, and could not get any, and then they added that Friday show, and he ended up getting them for Friday night. So I know he told me that him and his wife were down there on Friday night for the show, and I saw all the videos where Friday evening, Tony Vitello and members of the baseball team came out. And then on Sunday night,
Peyton was there.
And I predicted, I said, if Tennessee wins on Saturday night at Oklahoma, it's going to be members of the football team, Coach Heupel, coming out more. I did not expect Peyton Manning there in full uniform. That was pretty cool to see, but it was Coach Heupel and Nico and Peyton. But there were like several of the baseball players on Friday night that came out. So I don't know what the plan would have been if Tennessee would have lost to Oklahoma. I don't believe those guys. Peyton may still not. I don't think so, because coming off the loss, then
maybe.
That's just my thought. If they would have lost, I don't think Coach Heupel and Nico would have been coming out of the Morgan Wallen. But
maybe there was a backup.
There might have been a backup. That would be interesting to know who's
maybe
the backup.
Maybe they were going to call me.
Also, we forgot. I don't know how we haven't gotten to this point yet. Total mistake on our part, but we got to give a shout out to our buddy Dave Dirks. Friday night,
the Grand Marshal.
The only night we did not get to go out to the track, Dave was the Grand Marshal. Food City invited Dave to be the Grand Marshal on Friday night's Xfinity race, so he got to do the drivers start your engines command.
So
Drivers, start your engines!
I was at a high school football game, and I taped it. So when I went home to grab a quick bite to eat on Friday, sat down, I was like, I got to turn this on. And it was right at the very end of the pre-race show. And I think David McGee does the PA for Bristol Inter Speedway. And he's like, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports now to News 5's Dave Dirks. And then it goes right down to Dave. And it was like a second pause. So somebody was probably cueing him off camera. Then Dave was very boisterous and loud and a great command.
Man, we should have him on the podcast this week to talk about that, because that was pretty cool. And we are very proud of him.
Maybe we've been discussing getting guests, starting to have guests on here. I mean, this is the fifth one, maybe, but I think Dave should be, regardless of that, I think he should be the top of the list of when we have on there. But that could be one of the many things he can talk about whenever we do have him on here. But yeah, very proud. We were all very proud of Dave to get that. Several years ago, PJ Johnson, used to work here. He got to be in the flag stand and wave the flag to start the race. But not the Grand Marshal. As far as I know, Dave's the only one that's ever worked here that's ever been the Grand Marshal.
Yeah, it was really neat to see him on national television.
Yeah, on the CW, on our network too, on our family of networks. It was the first race on the CW, and I believe the ratings, I think it was just under 1 million people watched that race, the first one on the CW. So I don't know if they were all watching it at one time, but Dave definitely got out there. Maybe people back in Iowa, some of his old schoolmates were like, hey, wait a second. I went to school with Dave Dirks.
He did great, and he was clear. He brought up the energy. I thought he did a wonderful job.
Well done, Dave. So race week in the books at Bristol, and now we're going to turn to time to check some receipts. And we both had a fantastic week.
We did.
College. Yeah. We both won our games, even though you mocked me for James Madison. Not only did they cover, they outright whooped North Carolina, put 70 points on the board. Several people at the station were texting us in the group chats Saturday when JMU got off to a good start, saying, you better be careful giving Casey crap for his picks from now on.
I don't think that's what happened.
I remember that very, very vividly. But so I got JMU. So I'm now 3-1 in college picks, and you took Tennessee Saturday night.
They won.
They had to beat Oklahoma by more than 6, and they did. So Kristen also 3-1 in college football. NFL, you took the Seattle Seahawks to win
Sure
by
did.
more than 4 against the Dolphins, and they won 24-3. So
There you go.
so you're 2-1 now in NFL picks. And I took the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Dallas Cowboys by more than 1 point, and they won by 3.
Awesome.
So I'm 3-0 in NFL. But now we'll make this week's picks. You're first up with college.
For college, I'm going to go Georgia, Alabama.
That is by far, that's the game of the year so far in college football.
Yep.
I think it's number 2 Georgia at number 4 Alabama, Saturday night primetime.
Yes, and I looked it up, and
Georgia's favored.
Georgia is favored. So -2 though.
Yes.
So not by very
Not by
much,
much,
but I'm
yeah.
going to go with it because I
All right.
can't bet against my team.
No.
I'll always bet for them. So I'm going to take Georgia.
This is a rematch of last year's SEC championship game where Alabama knocked off Georgia and then knocked them. They didn't even make the playoffs last year. So I definitely think the Bulldogs are going to be out for some revenge.
Well, I'm hoping so. And here's the thing. I don't think that they have played as strong as we've seen them in the past few years. If you watch the Georgia-Kentucky game, I think you could attest to that. However, I do think this bye week might have helped them, and they're preparing a little bit harder. And so I think they'll come out and be very, very strong.
Yeah,
but
both,
we'll see how they do.
Both Georgia and Alabama had last week off, so they both had 2 weeks to get ready for this game. Obviously, that's the biggest game of the weekend, so nothing I'd take will match that anticipation level. After you mocked me last week, I was thinking about going way off the radar, taking like Miami of Ohio against Massachusetts, but I'm not going to do that. But as a bonus pick, I would do Miami of Ohio -18 over UMass, but I'm not doing that. I bet against North Carolina last week. Was right. They got embarrassed at home. I think the Tar Heels bounce back. They are an underdog at Duke. So North Carolina Duke's a big basketball rivalry. Football, not as much, but they are playing at Duke. Duke is favored by 2.5, so very similar to your game. I'm going to take North Carolina plus 2.5 to bounce back again. They got embarrassed. There was talk about Mac Brown, their coach, saying, I will resign if the players didn't think I could do the job anymore. So I think the Tar Heels circle the wagons this week, and they beat Duke. So I'm going to take North Carolina to beat Duke.
See, we're Duke basketball fans in our house, so I don't know if I can do that.
Well, you don't. I mean, that's fine. You don't.
No,
have to,
I'm just saying that that's.
I know you probably were rooting against me anyway because you want to win. I mean, it's competitive.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
all right, NFL pick.
NFL.
What do you got?
I'm going to do Falcons and the Saints.
Okay, big division matchup there.
Yeah. And
Falcons came this close.
They were very close.
To beating Kansas City.
They're doing pretty good this year.
Yeah.
So the line is -1.5. So I'm gonna.
Who's favored?
Falcons.
Falcons. Okay.
So I'm gonna.
Must be in Atlanta.
That's what I'm gonna go for.
Okay. Is this game in Atlanta?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Saints coming off their first loss of the season. They lost to the Eagles, close one. All right. So you got Atlanta against the Saints. I'm going to go with this is for Ethan, our podcast producer. His Chicago Bears are playing the Rams in Chicago. Bears are favored by 2.5. I will lay the points and take the Bears to win by a field goal or more over the Rams.
Okay.
That's my pick. And now we've done that. Now, last week, I'll let you take it from here, but you teased the new segment you wanted to introduce. So you take it away.
Yes. So I thought it would be fun since, we go out on Friday Night Rivals sometimes. We have to try all these interesting things. But here's the thing is all the time on social media, I'm seeing all these new things come out all the time. And I'm like, oh, that would be so cool to try. There's so many different things out there. People are always coming up with new products. So I thought, why not start a segment here on Off Air where we try some of these new products. Casey, not as adventurous when it comes to food or drinks as I am.
Nope.
Not at all.
A little adventurous. Not like are you superstitious? No, but I'm a little stitious.
Casey drinks pretty much what? Water, Propel, Gatorade.
Propel's been a while. Gatorade, orange juice.
But you would drink that.
Yeah, yes.
I'm saying like what you would drink.
Soda,
no
pop,
soda, no coffee. No alcohol.
No, very rarely.
Yeah. So really, so I thought it would be fun to try some of these things because you don't get to taste them.
And I'm glad you got a cup because if you just gave me a bottle, I would take one sip and then probably throw it out. So thank you for. All right. So
I brought some.
This isn't a blindfold test, is it?
No. I bought 3 drinks.
3 drinks.
So we have Mountain Dew's mystery flavor. This is called Voodoo soda. Okay.
We're both trying these, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've not tried these either. Okay. So this is all going to be new. So every Mountain Dew comes out with a new flavor for
every month?
No, for October.
Oh, okay.
for like Halloween.
Okay.
I think the first one they ever did was candy corn flavor.
Okay.
So this,
and we're not even
this
in
is
October,
mystery.
so this is like really
So we don't know.
sneak peek.
So there was 2 of them, and I didn't know what the difference was, so I bought both because I thought they were different. But then I figured out
I
this
probably
one.
have not drank a Mountain Dew in probably 30 plus years.
So like never.
Well, I'm 39. I mean, probably when I was like maybe like 7, 8 years old, I had a Mountain Dew maybe.
Okay, so this one is the mystery flavor, but this is the regular sugar. You don't look too excited about this. And then
regular sugar.
I also it has
you know
sugar
what
in it.
Yeah, I had sugar. It's all sugar.
Okay, that it doesn't matter.
146% of your daily value.
And then this is the zero sugar. Okay, zero sugar.
Another Mountain Dew.
So this one doesn't have any sugar. So if you're watching your calories, you can try that. And then I was able to find the new Coke. Now, they did not have this in the regular sugar, so you're going to have to do zero. But this is the Oreo Coca-Cola, and they also have Oreos that taste like Coke. However, they did not have, I could not find that. So if any of you are watching and you know where I can find the Oreos that taste like Coca-Cola for Casey to try, please let me know, and I will make sure that is included in the next segment.
Oh, yes. Please, let's make sure that's included.
Okay, so what do you want to try first?
Oh, boy.
I think we should start with...
let's save the Oreo for last.
Okay.
It has like a dessert feel, maybe.
Okay, so do you want to do the zero sugar, or do you want to start with full sugar?
Let's get the sugar out of the way.
All right.
Just a little bit here. I mean, we're taping this. It's 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, my goodness. You'll be all
here.
right. This is prime time.
Oh, that's plenty. That is plenty.
All right. What does it smell like immediately to you?
Sugar.
I think it smells like
cotton
cherry?
candy. Cherry. All right.
Cotton candy. Okay, cheers.
Cheers. First Mountain Dew in 3 decades.
That's good.
I
like it. You don't like it?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'll give it a 2.
Wow, you really didn't like it?
No.
What do you taste?
Sugar.
I think it's it definitely tastes like a lemonade, maybe, like with a little cherry, maybe some hints of cotton candy.
I did cotton candy.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Well, guess what?
Okay.
The good news is you get to drink the rest of that bottle at your leisure.
And I'm probably going to share these with the newsroom too, because people want to try. Okay, let's do the zero now, which is, I'm going to assume tastes like the same thing, only without the calories. Okay, there you go.
Boy, man, these pores are getting bigger and bigger every time.
These are baby pores, guys. Okay, cheers. I love that. I would buy this again for sure, because I'm usually a diet soda drinker anyways.
Ugh.
Is that better?
No, you gave me too much too. This was worse.
You got to finish it so you can get the last.
This one was worse than the other one.
So what's that get, a 0 or a 1? Mountain Dew, 0. Good.
I gotta be back. I gotta pour the rest of this down. I'll be right
No,
back.
it was not that bad.
Let's pause this one here. Pause. Time out.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I can't.
All right. It's now time for the Oreo flavored Coke Zero.
Just a little bit. You're very generous with your pours.
You need to try it. You
can try a
taste.
sip. You don't know the full taste. Plus, we're having contamination in the cups here too. We're having Mountain Dew now with Coke.
You'll be all right. Is that enough for you?
Yeah, that's plenty. Just need a sip.
Okay.
If you were a bartender, I mean, you get people on the floor
I used to be.
The way you pour.
What do you think?
Another 1. The Mountain Dew sugar was a 2. That was my highest grade of the night.
Honestly, I don't taste. It doesn't taste that Oreo to me.
No, it's
a very light Oreo taste.
And I will say that since this is the first segment I'll allow, but we're never doing 3 drinks like this again at one time.
That was good.
I'm going to be up till 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness, for 3 sips
Bouncing
of soda.
off the walls. Bouncing
oh my
off
gosh.
the walls.
Guys, look at how much is gone from this drink. Like for two of us.
Ugh.
Okay, there is not that much
That's
caffeine.
not really even good aftertaste in that with that Coke.
There is not
Yeah.
that much. It says fizzy cookie flavored.
If I had to do it again, I would have gone in reverse order, done the sugar ones.
That's what I was going to do
Sugar,
last.
yeah,
but
I thought I was going with
you
dessert.
chose.
Yeah, I did.
You chose. All
That's a
right.
rookie
So, Casey's pick is mystery flavor, full sugar.
That gets a
then-
2 out of 10.
Then mystery flavor, 0 sugar.
1 out of 10.
And then he goes Oreo.
1
Coke.
out of 10. What were your grades?
I would give a grade. This is good to me, but again, I am a diet drinker, so I would go 0. Like I would buy this again and drink it. Mountain Dew, Voodoo, 0, then full sugar, and then Coke, cookie. But here's the thing: I love regular Coke. Georgia girl here. That's where it comes from.
What's your
right?
numbers? Like,
So,
you got to give numbers.
This is probably like a 5. This I'd give a 8.5, 9.
Oh, we can do halves?
Sure. And then this is, we make the rules here.
Okay.
And then this maybe, like, I just don't drink a lot of regular. And so if I am going to drink a regular soda, I want a Dr. Pepper or a regular Coke or a cherry Coke. So this doesn't beat those to me. And those are 10s.
Now,
So this would be like maybe like.
what do you call that? Soda, pop? What do you call?
Everything's Coke.
Okay.
But like if I went to a restaurant,
Yeah.
I would order what I actually want. But if I'm talking about going to the store and buying this, I would just everything's Coke.
Okay.
Even if I meant Sprite. I know that makes no sense.
No, there's like, it's either like that, everything's Coke, they say Coke, Sprite, it's
Right.
Coke.
It's everything's Coke.
Or for me growing up, it was pop.
See, that's
we called
crazy.
it pop.
These northerners.
If I was going to have a pop, I would want a root beer.
A root beer.
Root beer. If I might have, or soda, that's the other one people call soda. We call it a pop. I might have like 1 root beer a year. Like that would be the one if I need to have, if you force me to have a
Good
soda,
to know.
it'd be root beer.
Maybe I'll find a fun root beer flavored
Why
thing.
can't it just be like an A&W or just a regular root beer?
Because it's got to be something different, you know?
Okay.
Maybe next week I'll bring some chips or something. We can try a different chip
food item instead of these nasty sodas.
Or, I mean, the options are endless. I could bring you a milkshake maybe when these new milkshake comes out. Chick-fil-A has a new banana pudding milkshake.
No,
Have you
I'm
tried
all
that?
about that. That's right on my alley. I'll take that 10 out of 10 times over this stuff here. And if you have any suggestions out there about things to try, I mean, obviously I have ultimate veto power where we will welcome your suggestions. Doesn't mean we will use them, but if you got any suggestions on things to try, we will leave in the comments or email us, whatever, and we'll take it under advisement.
We sure
here
will.
on Off Air.
Well, I'm proud of you. Thanks for trying it. Bring you another treat next week.
Anything for you. And as our show is called Off Air, these drinks I'd leave on the counter.
It wasn't that bad. All right.
I think we had enough for the week now.
I had enough for the week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us for another episode, and hopefully we'll see you next week.